This video is strictly about the two manuals, the orange and black, PLC Fundamentals, Basic Programming, and the Programming Advanced Subjects. If you're not considering using these manuals, then I wouldn't watch this video. You can watch the free videos on YouTube and come up with your own lab projects and learn. You don't have to buy our manuals or the memory stick. This is the primary hands-on lab project manual that we use in the class and the lab projects that we're going to discuss with or without the manual. And this manual is available on the website as is, or you can purchase it with a USB memory device. And let's see what's on this memory device. If you plug it in, this is what's going to come up on your screen. 3 folders and 3 files. Let's look at the demo version software first, because that's primarily why you would be purchasing this with the manual, is because you either weren't able to download the software or you don't want to take the time to do it. Looking at RS Links, open that up and you're going to see a folder that has RS Links software in it. And then you're going to see some helpful files, including 2 files or manuals from Rockwell, Allen Bradley Automation, RS Links Getting Results, and RS Links Tech Data. You open up the folder for the software and you're going to see the setup file, MicroStarter Lite version 8.3. You open that up and you're going to find a setup file that you double click on to set up the software. And for RS Emulate 500, you open up that folder and you're going to find a folder that has the software in it. That's what you would expect. That's the primary value on this USB memory stick. You've also got hardware documents, and I've included SLC 500 along with all the Micrologix platforms, 1000 through 1500. You open up Micrologix 1000, and these are the manuals from the manufacturer that you're going to find. These are all documents directly from Rockwell Automation, Allen Bradley. I've renamed the documents because when you download documents from the documents library at Rockwell Automation, you don't get anything that is readable. I mean, it's just, I renamed them all. You know exactly what you're opening. Then for Micrologix 1100, see the same basic set of documents. The Micrologix 1100 is the premier of the 2 that are supported by the free software, the 1000, 1100. The 1100 is a much better option than the 1000. The 1200, I wouldn't consider at all. If you've got one sitting around and you want to learn with it, have at it. The Micrologix 1400 is the premium Micrologix controller. It's the newest. Even though you might think 1500 came later, it didn't. It came 1000, 1200, 1500, then the 1100, then the 1400. And the 1400 has the most capability and is still a very viable controller. You're going to find thousands of these controllers out there. The Micrologix 1500, these are the documents that you're going to see. It's unlikely that you're going to need all these documents. You might use the 1000, 1100, 1400. I also included the manuals for the SLC 500. I went and found all these, created these folders, renamed them so they were readable as a help for you. And this memory stick is good to keep on hand when you're out on the plant floor troubleshooting some of these older platforms. And then under miscellaneous, these are just a number of documents that I thought were helpful and had good information in if you're going to work in the Micrologix platform. The last 3 files, course instructions, that's just a light guide for an instructor that's going to use these manuals. Read this first is exactly what it says. However, the Micrologix 1100 EMU template. Now, in the video talking about the emulator, I described a situation where you could be working on, say, a 1400 in class in the college or university, save your project, convert it first to 1100 to 1100, and then you can take it home with you and then open up in the emulator. Let's take a quick look to see what's in that template. When you open up that template folder, this is what you're going to see. This is a project or a program that was designed to aid you using the emulator in a more organized way. If you look over in the project view, that's over on the far left, under program files, you'll see ladder 2, which is the main program file, and that's what you see in the workspace right now that has the 3 jump to subroutine instructions, and they're unconditional. And you don't know this yet, but when you run a program in a MicroLogix or a Select 500, ladder 2 always runs, and it's the only one that runs uninitiated, meaning that when you put it in the run mode, the controller, it runs ladder 2, whatever's in there. Right now there's just these 3 instructions, and notice they jump to ladder files 253, 254, and 255. This platform allows you to have program files 0 through 255, or 256 program files. The first 2, System 0, System 1, you can't see them or touch them. They just put that little graphic in there as a placeholder. You don't ask where's 0 and 1. Ladder 2 always executes when the controller's in the run mode. And if you have other ladder files, you have to have a JSR to get to them. In this particular template, the only thing that's in here are things for you to use to make using the emulator simpler. Because remember, with the emulator, you don't have any real I/O. You don't have any switches or lights. If we look at the first one, HMI, all that we see there are instructions that address the 10 inputs and the 6 outputs for that particular controller, which is a MicroLogix 1100, I think BXB or a BBB, whatever it is. It's a 16 I/O, 10 in and 6 out. And notice that at the conclusion of the rung, there's an energized output, and they're labeled no op, meaning no operation. If all 10 inputs are on, it's going to turn on that bit, file B23, word 2, bit 0, but it doesn't do anything. This is just here. You can bring this up to look at the state of your inputs and outputs, whether they're on or off. I call it an HMI. It's like a poor man's HMI. That's already done for you. We show you how to do that in the manual. And then setup. This is to look to see whether you're doing maintained, normally open, or normally closed. And that doesn't make any sense right now, but when you get into the projects and you start doing things, it will make sense. However, this one, all the logic in here, and there are quite a few rungs in here, all this logic is designed to allow you to toggle a bit on. For instance, right here, let's say that I want to treat input 2, right here, see, IN2, as a normally open push button. That means normally open means spring return off, okay? It's normally open, and you push it, goes closed. If you toggle this bit on, down there, see toggle bit. Now, this isn't running right now, but if I toggle it on, the logic with this timer that's set to 1 second is going to turn it back off after 1 second. This logic will simulate you pressing on a normally open push button and then releasing. But you don't have any normally open push buttons or normally closed or any switches. All that you have is this function, toggle bit. This software allows you to set up, back here in setup, to set up these bits as a maintain switch, a normally open switch, or normally closed switch. It'll make more sense when you get into doing projects. So that's what's in that file, the template to use with Emulate. This is the fundamental manual, and you can purchase it with or without the USB drive. There's a second manual that has advanced subjects and has a real large project of a virtual machine with conveyors, sensors, cylinders, etc. that you can do. You can also integrate this project into a panel view if you happen to take on that subject. Thank you for watching.